So, Survivor Series 2023, Chicago. Because by the time you see this video, you already know, guys, it's already out there. CM Punk is back in WWE. And man, there are controversies about. I mean, if Monday Night Raw ain't, because he's already been advertised for Monday Night Raw. If that ain't about to be the craziest rating from WWE and Monday Night, I'm gonna get to that. Let me get through this so I can talk about the CM Punk stuff, because the show up until that point was actually okay. It was flat and okay at some points, but then so it was no kickoff match on the pre-show, but they did announce that the women's Royal Rumble War Games will be going. Advantage will be going to Team Bianca. Remember, in my SmackDown review, I called it Team Becky, Team Charlotte, but it was called Team Bianca. It was officially titled Team Bianca. So, and the advantage went to Team Bianca. So, and thus that would be the first match of the night, which would be Team Bianca versus Team Damage Control in the Women's War Games match. And for you know what, and not to say this was it was an okay match, but no, you want to know why things felt, because nobody cared. Nobody in Chicago cared what was happening. And they wanted to see the matches, obviously, but they didn't. All anybody could think about was CM Punk. Is he returning? Is Randy Orton a fake out? And actually, it was no, and yes at the same time. But this was a good opening match for Survivor Series. It was I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Initially I'm like, this probably be the okay to good match. This was actually a good to great match. They did a thing to open the show, and I'm actually glad that they got the showcase. I like the hug it out between Becky and Charlotte. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good match, and I like the tension they was building out throughout the whole night when it comes to the men's War Games, where is Randy going to show up, and is it because of Jay? But yeah, they did their thing, with Team Bianca having an advantage, and honestly, I thought Damage Control was going to win. I honestly thought they was going to win, but Team Bianca actually pulled it through. So kudos to them. We did get the second match would be Gunther versus the Miz for the Intercontinental Championship match, and that was actually surprisingly. I really thought that was going to be like a boring, quick match, but it was surprisingly entertaining. And kudos to Triple H for making me believe that the Miz at one point could have possibly beat Gunther and become the Intercontinental Champion. At one point, I was like, oh yes, I was like, holy hell, he's going to do it. He's going to beat Gunther. But then, of course, Gunther wins. But still solid, good match. Now, this match is the only match I will say I didn't really care about, because the person that he's feuding with is Carlito and Rey Mysterio. And neither of them was in this match. This next match, if you not know what I'm talking about, is the third match of the night, which is Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. Now, if you didn't watch SmackDown, Santos Escobar injured Carlito, and Dragon Lee later on the night demanded that instead of the match be canceled, he be put in Carlito's place. And so Nick Aldis did that, and then it became Santos versus Dragon Lee, which I'd rather them had canceled this match or given this spot to somebody else who haven't had much TV time, because I know it was, if you was going to put this on Survivor Series, you could have put something a lot better on there. I would actually gave. No, but then I forgot Io Sky was in the women's war game. Somebody that could have been another title defense match of some kind. Um, but it was okay. It was more. It did a lot for Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee, but I mean, it gave Dragon Lee a bigger spotlight. But other than that, it was an okay match. That was like the bathroom break match for me. But yeah, Santos Escobar would get the win. He is using his El Gato. I said El Gato. Legado del Fantasma theme song again. So I didn't. I don't think I said that in my SmackDown review. But yeah, he is using his old Legado del Fantasma thing. Then we got Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark, which was honestly a good match. It did a lot for Zoe. It didn't really do much for Rhea besides so that she was dominant, but it did a lot for Zoe and raised her stocks. It raised her stocks pretty much to the point where I'm like, I can see her as the future women's world champion or WWE women's champion. It did a lot for Zoe, and I enjoyed that. She actually took it to Rhea a lot more than I thought she would. So that's subverting expectations there. But in the end, Rhea Ripley would get the win over Zoe Stark to retain the title. Now, the main event, which ties into CM Punk. The main event was the men's War Games match. And like I said, the whole story throughout the night is Randy going to show up. Is Randy going to show up? They are on next. This is the only segment. Well, this the only match that had a backstage segment throughout the whole night, and would just build up to if Randy Orton was going to show up. And they had one last one right before the match, as they was getting ready to have to come out for their intros, and everybody's yelling at Cody, "Where is he?" Because we're on next. We're about to go out there, and he's not here. And Cody's like, he will show up. He's going to show up. They said, all right, man, we trust in you. Everybody left to go do their intros, and before the intro, right before then, you see Cody just back there like contemplate, like he looking in his mind. He saying, "I hope so." And then everybody do their intros, and Judgment Day, everybody. It was only for like Cody's Team Cody. They all did their separate intros, and then Judgment Day just came out as besides Drew. I think for Judgment Day, only Drew came out by himself. Then Judgment Day all came out at once, and I liked the little intense stare down between Drew and Damian Priest. Like he didn't really want to work with them. He just wants to beat the hell out of Jay, and that's my only gripe with this match. As much as they build this up as he was willing to work with them to beat the hell out of Jay, we didn't get to see him beat the hell out of Jay that much. So I was like, I needed just a little bit more in him trying to beat the hell out of Jay to sell this that he's only in it to beat the hell out of Jay. But other than that, this was a good War Games match. Drew actually worked good with Judgment Day and beating him up. Pretty much, I mean, it was a standard. It wasn't. I would say it wasn't as good as the women's. That was another nitpick because the women's had more bumps and table spots. They have more spots and moments than the men's. I say they had more, like maybe 2 or 3 more spots that was good other than the men's. But overall, it was a good fun match with Team Cody pulling out the victory. Now, Randy Orton. Let's address him first before I address CM Punk. Randy Orton. Everybody, the way how it went was, since Drew and them had the advantage, I think the last person out of the cage was Cody. And then once everybody was in the ring, they had to do the timer, and nobody's, Cody's, Randy Orton's music didn't hit, but Judgment Day point to the ramp because they just had put Seth through the table, and out comes Rhea Ripley with the Money in the Bank. So we about to have I'm like, oh my God, okay, so they about to cash it in. They about to cash it on Seth right now, right in the middle of War Games. How is this about to work? So now is Is it a War Games match for Seth's title? Like, how is this about to work? And then as Rhea was trying to tell him that he wanted to cash it in, Randy Orton's music hit, and he comes out, and it's really Randy. Randy is back, and he is jacked. Like he's been since once he got his back straight, this man got jacked, and he basically come out and he helps them win the War Games match. Now, that's Randy's part in this. So, also, I forgot R-Truth also returned. We had like 3 returns: R-Truth, Randy, and CM Punk. But I think R-Truth was like just a comedy backstage segment where they was promoting Ruffles. But yeah, so after the match, you notice that there's a big chunk of this pay-per-view still left. Or not a big chunk, but it's like 5 to 8 minutes left, where it's they usually do like a whole little recap after the end of the pay-per-view. But it was still enough time to where it was like something else about to happen. And if we learn anything from Bray Wyatt's return, this was too much time for this to be just a normal end. The watermark hits, the copyright watermark, all that hits. Then all of a sudden, well, I don't want to. I'll stop right there because you can't get copyright claiming even for just humming the tune. But Cult of Personalities plays. CM Punk's music hits, and he comes out. The crowd goes ballistic. That roof blew off. The roof was gone. I should say the roof was gone when Randy Orton came. They destroyed the building with how crazy they went when CM Punk came out. And that is the end of the show. He came out, he packed the ground, hitting the ground, and being instead at the back, and he goes like this. And instead of saying it's clobbering time, he let the crowd say it for him. Cause he just goes, he mimics it, and then the crowd just go, it's clobbering time. And then he rejoices and celebrates with the fans, and that's the end of the show. Now, what we don't see was recorded by, which is the controversy part of this that I mentioned earlier, was that at least for 2 wrestlers, there's multiple people who are shot, and it's reports say that multiple people are shot, generally shot, because they kept this under wraps. They said the only people who knew, this part is being confirmed, the only people who knew about CM Punk returning was Nick Khan and Triple H. Nick Khan and Triple H was the only people who knew that CM Punk was coming back. And Triple H confirmed this in the press release. He said the only time he confirmed that everything else beforehand was speculation. All the speculations was just speculations. It was nothing was on the table. Nothing. He said when it became true is when he said when everybody, once they said no, he's not returning, all that. The moment the Triple H admitted, the moment that once they said all that, and the moment people, the fans were like, okay, he's not coming back. Boom! All of a sudden, now they having meetings with CM Punk, and now it's starting to gain traction and being true. So they like, all right, well, damn, we just told everybody no, so we're gonna keep this under wraps. So it's been confirmed that only Triple H and Nick Khan knew. They didn't tell nobody. That's also been confirmed. That's confirmed. They didn't tell anybody that CM Punk was coming back. So when he came out, that's what wrestlers, whether it's been whether kayfabe or not, that was their first time finding out that he was actually coming back. So the wrestlers themselves were just like us. They was just as shocked, and you could tell too when he came out. Everybody who was still in the ring was genuinely shocked. Because everybody who was in the ring, they didn't know he was coming back. They didn't know what was happening. Because as it's been reported that they didn't understand why the show was ending so soon, or why they was giving spots to end in the match so soon when it was still time left for the pay-per-view. And then when he came out, they was genuinely shocked. So that was their. Even for them, it was just a rumor, and that was that moment for them confirming this. Now, I say this because what happened as a result of this, the two people who caused the most uproars, one, as you obviously would think, Seth Rollins, but the surprise one is Drew McIntyre. So I didn't see the Drew McIntyre video. I did see the picture, but I haven't seen the video. I did see the video for Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins was irate. I mean, now it makes sense why we didn't hear nothing from Michael Cole or Corey Graves. His name escaped me. I couldn't remember his name. I wanted to call him Pat McAfee, but Corey Graves. The reason why we didn't hear nothing from Michael Cole and Corey Graves is because in that Seth Rollins video, it's basically showing that they had to get up and go get Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins was heated. I mean, I can't do what he was doing, but imagine Stone Cold's. He was Stone Cold and CM Punk and saying it too. He was telling CM Punk, "You man, you, and go you." He said, "Go yourself." That's all you heard was you, self. That's all you. I'm like, he is genuinely heated. But the reports is that his was a work. They're confirming that it's for Seth Rollins. That was a work. He was working an angle to have a potential feud with CM Punk. Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, is believed was real. They said Drew McIntyre walked off. He was visibly upset. Walked off. Walked into the back. They said he walked to his locker room. Slammed the door, throwing stuff, and he left the arena. He is generally, they said, with Seth, it was a work an angle, but with Drew McIntyre, they said that was true. But that's the craziness just around this one man returning. And that wasn't, the part I just talked about wasn't even on the show. This was just, we already know this because fans was recording the wrestlers' reaction. Like Rhea Ripley, they even got one with Rhea Ripley. I forgot to mention that too. It's a video with Rhea Ripley. She even giving up the Stone Cold because she was just sitting there and she was like, it's crawling top. Like she was like, whatever, nobody cares. And then in the Seth Rollins one, you see Rhea Ripley just sitting there laughing because of Seth Rollins. He's so irate that CM Punk is bad. But otherwise, this was, you can see for me, this was the most enjoyable part of this made, just this part alone, I'm going to give you, this is how I'm going to rate this. Because without the CM Punk part, this was even with this, just with Randy Orton, as Randy Orton returned, we got no CM Punk. This would have been just, I would have gave this a 7.5 out of 10. Big up. That's what I would have gave it if it was just the Randy Orton return and everything else. But with CM Punk's return and everything that just happened, the craziness and the landscape of this craziness that's about to happen, I'm giving Survivor Series a 9 out of 10. It don't go up to 8. It goes past 8. This is a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 Survivor Series. Triple H, you outdid yourself. Can't wait to see what Monday Night Raw has. If you enjoy my reaction to this, guys, you let me know in the comments down below or what you thought about CM Punk's return and the craziness that has followed since his return. And how you like Survivor Series. And if you enjoy my reaction in this video and you want to see more, you know what to do. You hit right there. You hit that button for all of my daily reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much you want to support the channel, you know what to do, guys. Hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button as you saw in the beginning of the video because it helps the channel grow. And it helps me get better as a YouTuber as well. And hey, look out, I got more videos coming. I'm back. I'm here to stay. Peace.